Hello and welcome back to the No Schoolers podcast with Claire and Amy. And this week we're talking all about the money. So, how do we afford to home educate? Is it expensive? How do we make money? How do we stay at home and have the kids at home and not go out to work? Do we work full time? All those sorts of questions.
Well, first of all, let's get the elephant out of the room. I think there's quite a big perception around homeschooling that you have to be rich to homeschool, and it's really not the case. But you just need to be mindful of your money
Yeah.
and know where it's coming from, and be able to budget and you know understand your what's coming in and what's going out. Really, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Um,
there's still costs associated with school. There's the costs of all the uniform, there's the cost of all the trips, there's the costs of the extracurricular activities that they do. There's still the lunches that you have to send in every day. There's still those costs associated with school. It's just that
yeah,
they feel absorbed more because take them into consideration
no,
when you compare them to home educating. Because we'd still be doing the clubs that we're doing now even if he was at school. Like
yeah.
he'd still be going to scouts and swimming and youth club and all these other things.
Yeah.
And also we get a lot of discounts.
And we've just got back from Butlins, and it's not a home educating discount, but it's the difference from when you go in school term time to non-school term time is like my
That's
mind was blown, completely
yeah.
blown.
Hmm.
We went to Butlins for 5 days, Monday to Friday, and we went in May, and we paid £82 for the week, and that
That's
includes all your
great.
activities, everything. We was there again last week, and we paid £112. And as a comparison, staff went on and had a look. Well, what would we be paying if the kids were in school? What would we be paying? Nearly £900 for the same apartment, the same length of time, in a place that's twice as busy and things cost twice as much.
That's
Like,
crazy. Like
how
literally nearly a 10 times the amount.
bonkers. My mind was completely blown. And I was like,
Wow.
no, surely not. That's ridiculous. And that was the
Same
same
with us, to be
apartment.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just came back from Cornwall. We went to Lou. We stayed there for 4 nights, Monday to Friday, paid £238. That's including the dog, because the dog is like a 50 quid surcharge. So that's for five of us. And we went in May also to Newquay, paid £169 for 5 days. And we did look at the same place for like middle of August, and it was like 800, £900. I just thought
But they
it,
can.
it's like
Yeah.
a take really of the places.
It's daylight robbery. That's what it is. And they do it because they can. And
Yeah.
I'm not, being at Butlins last week, you know, it's it's amazing because it was quite busy, and I was going, why is it so busy? Like the schools are all still in. And do you know what everyone's comment was? We've done it this year early because next year the bigger fines come in. So it's
Oh, okay.
80 £80, is it this at the moment,
I
if you
don't
take
know. I have no idea.
but £80 if you take your child out of school and get a fine. Whereas next year, if you get taken out, I think there is, don't get quote me on this, but there's some legalities to it. I don't know the ins and outs, but the fine can be up to, when you're taken to court, 2.5 grand.
Wow.
You
God.
know, and it's that for parents, that alone is, but they're trying to scaremonger. They're trying to say, don't take
Oh
your
yeah.
kids out of school. School
Mm.
is important. It's where children should be, and we'll fine you for doing it.
Yeah.
Not me, you won't. Not a chance.
No.
you know, and it's for parents, that's a really scary thought. That's quite a scary thing. And they've tried to, you know, tell parents that's what it's going to be. So they go, oh, I can't do it. And that's what, you know, 3 or 4 people said exactly the same thing this time. I was like, oh my God, I can't get over how busy it is. They were like, well, the fines are creeping up next year. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know how people do it.
No, I remember my mum and dad were always doing it. They were always taking me out to go on holiday. Like I remember standing at the top of a ski slope, and my dad was like, "Oh, better ring the school, ring it down. She won't be in today. She's not very well."
Again.
Yeah, and it's. I think though, taking your children to. I mean, this has gone off on a bit of a tangent, but taking your children to see and experience other places and other cultures, even other parts of this same country are so different culturally. So the culture in Cornwall is very different to the culture in the West Midlands. You can
Absolutely.
feel that so much when you go down there. And that we did like a week-long project about Cornwall before we went down. And they were learning all like they learned a few Cornish words. They learned about how the pasties were made for the miners, and how there was a dessert end and a savoury end and loads of different things. And then they could experience that when they went there. And
Yeah.
that's such a much more enriching way to learn than just reading it out of a textbook.
Yeah.
And not life doesn't isn't contained within one classroom, is it? And this within one school, there's a massive world out there
It's
to
funny you
it.
should say that because I had this conversation with Harry. I think it was yesterday or the day before. He said something. He asked me a question. I said, "Oh, I don't know." He went, "But I thought you went to school."
As if you should know everything because you
Yeah,
oh,
but it's like what you've just said. You know, those things you're not taught in school. Life in itself is a lesson,
oh
and
yeah.
going on holiday is so much more than a holiday.
It's so much more than just lounging by a pool. And even
Yeah,
if you do lounge by the pool, the kids don't lounge by a pool. We wish they would
moms don't
sometimes, but
lounge,
they
but
don't.
I don't
They're
know
learning to
who
swim.
lounges by pool. Yeah,
They're learning to deal with a different climate potentially. They're hearing different accents or languages around them. They're learning about how much things cost because you're like, no, that ice cream is like 4 quid. And uh, they're gonna remember all that than just sitting at a desk, I think. But anyway, how
we went off, didn't we?
we did
Sorry,
go
guys.
there. So how do you get the money in the first place?
So I think it's fair to say, the majority of the UK needs to function. They need 2 full-time incomes,
Yeah.
and I think it's fair to say, the world that we live in, things are expensive. You need that to live. The mortgage, the cost of living is crazy.
Yeah.
But we kind of went down a bit of a different avenue, and we tried to figure out how we were going to do home educating on one income, and that would be that we had to generate another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we worked out, and we knew that we had to have the equivalent of 2 incomes through one person working.
Yeah.
So we we did a business from home on the side, of the staff's full-time job at the time, and we worked it that we get paid now 2 full-time incomes, but only one of us goes out to work, and I stay at home every day with the children, and that's literally how we've had to work it. So we've just had to work out, and figure out financially how we do it.
So just to be clear, you Stav has a full-time job.
Yep.
So Stav goes out to work like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and he's out of the house earning an income. But then you also have a passive income coming in that you've built up through a previous endeavor in the past that still
Yeah.
continues to pay you now, that you
Yeah.
still can work on part-time or in the
Yeah.
hours.
And we still
Yeah.
do. We both work on that. You know, that's still being built in the background alongside the full-time job that Stav does.
Yeah.
And we've built that to an income that means that I don't have to work.
Yeah.
And anyone can do that. There's so many opportunities out there for anybody to do anything like that. So, but that's just how we knew that we couldn't afford to do home educating with just one full-time income.
And how long did it take you to go from zero to making a one person's full-time income through that business?
Well, that on its own, I mean, Stav's been building, we've both been building that income for, the past 8 years, 8 to 10
Okay.
years, slowly
Yeah.
alongside a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been building up. And at the time, it wasn't done for home educating our children.
It was just a good business model that you thought was,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
And there's loads out there. There's so many that people can do.
Okay.
Um,
If people are interested in what you do, shall we leave a link
yeah,
to your thing?
yeah. There's definitely,
Just because
loads.
people are going to be like, oh, I wonder what she's doing. Like,
Yeah, look, that's a conversation for another time, and I won't go into that now. But but if people are interested in what there are, because what we do isn't the only way.
oh no, yeah, of course.
There's so many, and we've looked into quite a few, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we just knew that we had to find a way to make a full-time income so that I didn't have to work.
Yeah. And it's good that you've built that and that you've got that now for like a prolonged period of time in the future, haven't you? You haven't got to worry.
And it works around the family. That's what it has to do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah.
And, to home educate, you don't have to be rich at all.
No.
But you have to be able to know what your financial situation is, what your outgoings are, and can you match that? What comes in, can you match, if not, better what goes out, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like anything, isn't it? That's like,
yeah,
even if you had a full-time job and your kids went to school, you'd still need to live that way. It might be that if you had 2 full-time incomes and your kids were at school, you might have more disposable income, but that might mean that you have a bigger house and a bigger mortgage and bigger bills and more finance on the car, or more fuel expenses, or all these sorts of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are better off at the end of the month.
And it's also, like you said earlier, it's about knowing, well, hang on. I mean, I was shocked, to be fair. My sister, when she was setting Lily up for school last September, she was like, well, when I equate everything up, to set her up just to go into school had cost nearly £300.
Yeah.
That's, a pair of school shoes, the bag, the stationery, and all of that. And we haven't had that expense.
No.
But we can use that in other ways. So it's not just about, going, oh, well, we home educate, we don't have any of that. We do, because we go out on day trips and, do stuff, but it's just about being mindful about how much you are spending and what you're going to, and things that, happen when we're going out tend to be a little bit cheaper, like the holidays.
Yeah, and the days out where we get home ed discount, and because there are a lot of places that do a home ed discount.
Yeah, loads.
And a lot of the meetups that we have are free.
Yeah.
We just meet up for a social. We don't go somewhere that has an entry fee and then we have to buy food in there and all that sort of stuff. Like, we can take a picnic and socialise for free.
And you don't have to have all of the books and all of the expensive stuff. And,
No.
you
Or the
know,
curriculum
you
membership,
know,
or the, yeah, no.
we we have membership with subscription, sorry, with Twinkle, and
Okay.
we love it. I really, really enjoy it because it doesn't just have things that whatever you go in there and search, it just seems to come up with so much stuff that's
Yeah.
printable.
To
And
be fair, we did. I joined Twinkle before we did the Cornwall project because they had like a presentation thing that I could
yeah,
just pop up, and it gave them a few different facts and where it was in the on the map, and the
yeah,
word, the language, and all that sort of stuff. And then, so I did find it useful for that. I did like it, but I just joined with the free trial. I haven't yet got to the point of paying, so I'll have to evaluate whether I think it's worth it for us. But it's only minimal anyway, isn't it? It's not very much.
I think I pay something like £9.99 a month, but they sent me a coffee cup.
Okay.
And to be fair, they send some really good stuff out. I've got they send books every quarterly. They send work like what they called like mazes and stuff through the post. They send um planners, they send coffee cups, they send
Mm,
loads of stuff.
okay. Nice.
It's
They're
definitely worth looking into.
nice added extras, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys do? What is it that how do you make your money, and how do you do that home educating?
So my job is a photographer, which means that I have a very flexible work because I only have to be out for, like, our wedding, for instance, for the one Saturday, and then all of my editing can be done at home on the night times or as and when. And I could literally open my laptop for an hour whilst the boys are doing something else and do a bit of editing or a bit of admin or whatever.
Yeah.
So we are both completely self-employed. We don't have any full-time jobs, employed jobs. Um, so I have my photography business. I also, um, on a very minimal level, build and host websites. So that generates a monthly income as well.
Yeah.
Um, and that's also remote and very flexible because I can do that around the kids. Ash is an electrician, so but he doesn't do that. He used to do that full time until COVID, and then COVID sort of shut everything down, didn't it? So
Yeah.
he then stopped doing that full time and now does that part time. And he trades Forex as well. So and he also works alongside me when we do a wedding. So he's my second shooter or my video producer. Um, and that's how we make our money. We just have to build the businesses and promote the businesses and work on and in the businesses around the kids. And
Yeah.
Ash is a bit more um traditional in the sense that he goes out to work um and comes home from work and does his, like, delivers his service and then comes home.
Yeah.
um but that's it's still very flexible because when you are self-employed you can set your own hours and you can set your own times that you work, so he can just work like until 4 on a Wednesday so that he's back for swimming, or he can
Yeah.
not choose not to work on a particular day on a Friday because we have this meetup or whatever. Because we have, I think the key to it, by the sounds of it, is to have multiple income streams in
Yeah.
in one sense or another. Um, but we also do know quite a few single parents who
Yeah.
do this and that have one income stream and that still manage to do this perfectly fine with how they've structured their life. And it's quite inspiring. I don't think inspiring is the word, but like it must be encouraging to other families or other
Yeah.
parents that want to do it, that feel like they can't because they're a single parent or they don't earn enough money, to see that actually there are ways, because we've got friends who make it work and they
Absolutely, they
wouldn't
do.
have it any other way now.
No.
So it's, I mean, they definitely have to probably think about
Budget for things. Do you have
budget.
like,
Exactly. Yeah.
do you plan your week? Do you plan your food shop and stuff like that? Or are you kind of quite good at keeping within a budget for
We
things
don't
like activities and stuff as well?
we don't have a budget as say, like I don't think every week, okay, we're only going to spend this much money, or every month we're only going to spend this much money, because our as a self-employed person, your income fluctuates
Yeah.
heavily. So we just we just I don't know, we roughly know how much things cost, and we tend to just stick to the same. We have the same like food shop bill every week, I'd say. It was very similar. Same with like we'll have a takeaway once or twice a week or something, and
Yeah.
we know that, and the fuel and all that sort of thing. Like we just, because they tend to be consistently the same amount, I don't really have a budget. We just probably should. I probably should have a budget, and then we need to be saving this amount every month. But we do have automatic savings that go out, and we have roundup pots, and I have a Vanguard investment like portfolio, but sounds very, very fancy. It's literally just I made an account with Vanguard and then put £100 a month into it, and it does it itself. And then I think
Yeah.
we've earned like, I think it's like 12% since I started, which we only started last year. So it's still pretty, it's good to just have that running in the background, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I definitely probably should budget a lot more. What, do you have a budget? Do you like go through
Um,
your expenses and your finances and stuff quite often?
I'm going to be honest, I'm rubbish with money. Like, I'm terrible. Stav's the money guy. Like, he likes to know where like the money is and what we're spending it on, and he'll sort of like rein it in, and we're trying to teach the kids to do the same.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's really important. We do budget. We do try and like keep it like, you know, shopping to X amount and materials and, you know, all those kind of things. But we're trying now really hard to teach the kids. So
Yeah.
started, I mean, Olivia's only 2. I know she probably doesn't get it, but she likes to do the same as Harry. Harry, when we go out, he's not like a kid that will demand stuff and like expect things. But you know, if we're going out and he'll have something, he doesn't know the value of it.
Yeah.
And we're really trying to make a conscious effort now to, you know, teach them the value of money, because things are a lot and they don't know how expensive things are.
Yeah.
So the kids they've got their own little wallets, and they get £20 a month, and they have anything they want. I mean, I'm not talking like an ice cream, like if we're out, I'm not talking like that. We're like, if they want to buy something, then they have to pay for it with cash and get the change, and know that at the end of the month they then put whatever they've saved into their money pots. So it's just trying to teach them that they don't have to spend it all, and then they get, you know, the start of the next month they get another £20, and they have to budget. really.
Yeah, that's a really,
So
really good thing to be teaching them, isn't it?
yeah, because I'm really conscious that they don't, they see us tap a plastic card. If they don't see money being
No.
exchanged anymore.
Yeah.
And, I remember when I was at school, like, getting the plastic coins out and, seeing, drawing around them and all that. You don't get that anymore. Nobody handles money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're trying to help them, yeah, just learn the value of money, I guess. And
We do the same sort of thing, but I don't give them a set amount each month. I give them money for in exchange for either doing things or for um so I like to call them like life like enriching activities and like helpful activities. So for instance, they know that their job is to empty the dishwasher. And if they empty the dishwasher, they get £1. And for every chapter that my eldest reads of his book, he gets £1. Um, because it's I want to teach them that yes, work in terms of like manual labor sort of thing or doing a
yeah,
service is exchanged for money because that's how a job works.
yeah,
But also enriching your mind and learning about things also comes with a reward. And yes, I know that we talked about like I don't do rewards in that way, but it's not the same sort of thing as like reading a book and gaining knowledge is different. I think when you gain knowledge, you also can increase your income. So by increasing their knowledge as well as delivering a service or doing some manual labor, they get money for both of those things. It seems to just set them up for an adult life because
yeah,
that is how you make money. You either deliver a service, you exchange your time for money, or you have superior knowledge. So those are the two factors that I like to reward monetarily. It works well. I mean, Hudson took his book to Cornwall, and I'm not kidding. He took a rucksack every single day because he had this book. And it's not because he was wanting the pounds. He just really got into the book. While he was waiting for the crabs to come for the bait, he was sat there reading his book. And I just looked at him and I was just thinking, I am so proud of you because that's
I love
exactly
that.
how I wanted it to be.
Yeah, an
Um,
enjoyment.
an enjoyment for it. Yeah, you're not doing it, but sometimes the little incentive is needed in order to open their mind to the fact that it is really enjoyable and actually I can get into this.
Yeah,
So yeah, I do. And I Ash is extremely lenient with them in terms of money. Like I have said that unless it's birthday or Christmas, I'm not buying them anything like toys because they have too much as it is. They don't value it, it gets trashed. And so, why should we be just fueling that disrespect for stuff and then not, like you said, they don't know the value of things? But
yeah,
Ash is like yesterday, he just went on Amazon, bought them some more Nerf guns, and it's like, oh, they get their money so that they know
yeah,
that they can buy those things if they want them. But if we just keep buying them, then you can't go mad at them when they break stuff or they disrespect it because you're just not teaching them, not giving them any lessons in it. But I think he finds it hard because he just feels bad on them. But I think you have to be cruel to be kind in some ways.
yeah. Harry, he wanted some bits and bobs, and I said to him, I said, "Well, what are you going to sell to make the money?" He's like,
Mm,
"What do you mean?" It's like, "Well, you want all this new stuff, you want these monster trucks and all of that." I said, "Where's the money going to come from?" And he was
yeah.
like, "Well, what do I need to do?" I was like, "Well, you need to sell the other stuff," and he did. He went around the house and he found bits and bobs, and he made nearly £100 on Vinted.
Wow.
Yeah. And we was on holiday actually last week, and this was a really big lesson for Harry. And I did get a little bit of mom guilt, but he went to the shop in Butlins, and in there was loads of lovely monster trucks, of course. And he was like, "I want it now. I want that Godzilla, and I want it right now." And I was like, "Well, let's wait. You've got your money in your wallet." I said, "The monster trucks are not going to go anywhere. Let's wait. On the last day, we'll come, and if you really still want that monster truck, and you still have a lot of love for it, we'll buy it. Well, you can buy it with your own money." He's like, "Okay." I went back on the last day, and the monster truck had gone.
Oh,
I was like, "Oh." And then in comes his little friend with the monster truck.
oh God.
And I was
Just
like, "Oh no, oh
to
no."
rub salt in the wound.
And I was like, "It's fine. Like, we'll find it elsewhere. We will find it." And he'd waited so long for this monster truck. And he did. He saved his money. And well, and then the proud moment came in. I went on Vinted, love a Vinted sale.
Yeah.
And the monster truck we got brand new. So in Butlins, he was going to pay £10.99. And I went on Vinted, brand new in the box, a duplicated gift, £3.
Nice.
And then he was like, "So what does that mean?" I was like, "Well, you've only got to pay me £3." And he was like, "Oh." And I was like, "And here's your change. And now you've got more money to go and spend on something else." He's like,
And that's another lesson, isn't it?
absolutely. I was like, "Oh," when you just pull it back, and I was like, "Okay, I was saved. Vintage saved me."
Yeah.
But he couldn't believe it. He was like, "What? So now I've got more money?" I was like, "Well, yeah, you were going to spend £11, and you only spent 3 on exactly the same thing." And he was like, yeah. Safe to say, he came home and he went to Sainsbury's and bought another monster truck
With the change.
with the change.
Yeah. So, talking of like secondhand things, do you find that you have steered more towards secondhand things in order for it to meet a budget?
Yeah, I think that there's never anything wrong with buying secondhand.
I love it. I love a Chazza.
Oh,
Love them.
I
I
hate with a passion TK Maxx. I think I can't bear it. I can't deal with going in there and it being like being a car boot. But put me in a charity shop and I'm like a kid in a sweet shop.
love it. Absolutely love it.
Honestly.
My like teenage self would look at me and shake her head because
Yeah.
I used to hate it. I used to stand outside when my mum used to go in them. I used to stand outside because I used to hate it that much that she went in them. And now I'm like, get me to them charity shops.
Yeah.
When can I go?
I was this close the other day to buying a pair of trousers in a size too small for Olivia because they were a brand name for a bargain. Fruity.
Yeah, but you could have sold them on Vinted.
Wow, this is the thing, isn't it? Now, so it's an opportunity missed to make a bit of money.
It was.
But yeah, I love a charity shop.
I bought not so long ago for a fiver the Biff Chip and Kipper, the whole collection. I think there's the whole collection of stage 1. So because I've got a 5-year-old who is in the process of learning to read.
I've got the other stages here.
Oh, yeah.
For a fiver.
It was a fiver for like the whole. Then there's about there's got to be 15 books in a little wallet, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Easy, if not more. But yeah, for a fiver, they're probably a fiver each if you were to buy them each. And I bought a whole bundle of Captain Underpants. There was probably about 10 of them because I thought my 8-year-old might like to read them, but turns out no, he likes Roald Dahl, that's fine by me. I mean, a literary genius rather than someone who's just in their pants is much better. So those sorts of things, and like board games, we love a board game.
Yeah.
I don't think I would go and buy something new like that, especially not books and stuff like that. Like even online on eBay and Amazon, you can get used. And I always opt for used than brand new. I don't think there's any. I've got no shame whatsoever in it.
No, no.
Oh, also, a good thing that we have found is that this community is they always give back. So, like, one of the first ever meets that we went to, there was a lady there, and her family situation was changing, so her kids were having to go back into school. She wasn't able to keep them at home anymore, and she just brought this huge bag for life with her, full of resources. Like, anyone wants them, you can have them. Like,
Yeah.
books, textbooks, flashcards, workbooks, games, anything you can think. Like, there was just so much in there, and she was just giving it away. So
So lovely.
yeah, and that happens a lot.
Yeah.
We're always bringing stuff to each other. Or you think, oh, I'll take that to the charity shop, or you think, oh no, because so and so's got a child that is this age and is into this thing, so I'll take it for them.
Yeah.
Or and that's the other thing is Facebook groups. There's also a Facebook group which is like home ed marketplace.
Yeah.
There's a Facebook group for home ed marketplace, so that things again are a lot cheaper.
Being reused.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that's so lovely. And we started doing the same. So Harry does, I think I mentioned in a previous episode that Harry's doing topics.
Hmm.
And the topic that he's doing is space.
Yep.
And all the books that we've bought are secondhand, and all been given. And we've literally, instead of when he's finished with it, getting rid of them, we're going to keep them all. And so when somebody within the group says, "Oh, we're learning about space," well, here you go.
Yeah.
There's all your
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah.
Give them back to us when you finish with it, and we'll pass it on to somebody else when they do it again, or when
Definitely.
Olivia does it.
Yeah.
And
And also the library.
yeah,
Love the library. We are like members of, I think, 3 different county libraries, and that means that we get a different day out for one.
yeah,
And they have all the resources for free. Like,
yeah.
they have the books about.
There's a lot out there for free.
There's so much. There's so much. So I don't think it needs to be expensive.
Oh
Doesn't.
no, home educating does not need to be expensive. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to spend a lot.
You know,
You absolutely do not. And
definitely.
just be mindful of your money and make the most of it.
Yeah,
That's with anything in life, isn't it, really?
exactly. That's what I was going to
You can be
say.
working with your kids in school and need a budget,
Yeah, exactly.
but use that budget for what, you sending your kids to school. You have things that you would generally have to buy: the uniform, the shoes, the stationery, the books, the
Mhm.
trips, and also you do stuff at weekends. So taking all of that into equation, then put it into a budget and going, right, okay, so we've got this much to spend in sort of like a term, because I don't know about you lot, but I hibernate when the kids are off.
Yeah, I know.
6 weeks holidays coming up. I'm
Yeah,
about to hit hibernation,
yeah,
because things go really expensive,
I do.
really expensive.
I do.
It's crazy how much some places put their prices up to just because they can.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a shame, isn't it? Because it just
It is.
penalizes everybody. But I think that is probably the biggest thing that holds people back, though, is the finance, isn't it, from doing it? So
Well, we get that's the one thing that I get a lot. So, I was at Harry's football club and on a Thursday evening, and they said, "Oh, what class is Harry?" And I said, "Oh no, we home educate him." And they were like, and the one thing on people's lips, instead of thinking about, you know, the kids in that situation, they go, "Oh, I wish I could afford to do that."
yeah,
That's what a lot of people say when you say that you home educate. Well, you probably could afford to do it too.
yeah, you just
Looking at it,
yeah, it's
or
just changing your
maybe,
mindset, isn't it?
yeah,
It's changing your mindset
absolutely,
and then making a plan for life to work around that
yeah,
instead of life having to work around a job.
yeah,
You make your job work around your life, which is
absolutely.
how things should be anyway, I think. But it's
Absolutely.
just that it's that much harder now because things are so expensive and life is a bit more difficult to navigate
It, it, it,
financially.
it is. It's a lot, and everything is a lot. But if you work out your outgoings and make sure that it all aligns with your outcome aligns with your income, then it's completely doable.
Yeah.
Completely doable.
Oh,
And
I think so.
people are not, especially in this community, they're not, shy in sharing the things that they've found difficult or found what works
Yeah.
for them, because everybody's circumstances are so different. We've, like you said earlier, we've got people that are single parents, we've got people that are working full time, we've got people that rely on, home educating childminders, and there's every scenario you can think of.
Well, thanks for that. That was very insightful. I'm sure that was very insightful for other families as well to listen to that.
I hope so, because I hope it opened up. There's people listening that are thinking of home educating, they realise that they don't have to have, this wonderful lifestyle and all the money in the world to
Hmm.
home educate, because it's not the way at all.
And the
It's not.
tutors pay £30 an hour for a tutor and stuff like
Yeah.
that. We don't do any of that.
No, I hope that was helpful to somebody.
Yeah, hopefully. Let us know what you think in the comments or how you make money. If you make money in
Yeah.
order to home educate, it'd be interesting to hear.
Always open to finding out
Yeah,
how to make another income.
yeah, definitely. Well, thanks, Claire, and
No, thank you.
we'll see you in the next one.
Certainly will.